It's Valentine's Day and students at Johnson Central High School and schools across the county are not in class. Straight ahead, hear about the teamwork between school administration and law enforcement in Johnson County, who took the day to make sure that students who go to school across the county are safe.
Now at 6, a Bell County Detention Center inmate escaped after work detail yesterday afternoon and is still on the run. I'm Hannah Reynolds, and we'll have more on that coming up.
Snow chances look possible for Eastern Kentucky Friday night into Saturday morning. We'll have your first call for snowfall.
And on this Valentine's Day, what is the secret to true love?
Right now, when we go to bed, before we go to sleep, we kiss each other.
You don't have to tell that.
We'll ask that question to a Perry County couple who've been married for 70 years.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Johnson County schools were closed today as law enforcement and school officials met to discuss how to keep the students safe. This all stemmed from a threat written on a bathroom stall at Johnson Central High School last week. WYMT's Will Puckett has more on how teamwork is keeping students safe.
Late to bed.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of midnight last night.
And early to rise.
And this morning about 5:30.
Searching hallways.
They enlightened us on a lot of potential locations that some of us weren't aware of.
As students stayed home for the day, officers were combing the halls to make sure students remain safe.
We're very blessed in our community that we have 3 groups of law enforcement that are willing to work together and to work with us.
As lockers go untouched for the day, only one fluorescent light on in the hall. District Superintendent Tom Cochran says classes were canceled just as a precaution.
We will not stop until we do everything we can to make sure every child is safe.
Law enforcement and school officials say they want the public to know their kids are well protected.
Officers, our deputies, and our troopers, I think we're all agreeing that we're going to upgrade our presence
and can safely return to class.
We do plan to be back in school
to close out the week. In Johnson County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Officials say they have found no merit to the threats. Safety experts here in Kentucky say the Parkland, Florida massacre 1 year ago today, right on the heels of the school shooting in Marshall County, Kentucky, changed the conversation about school safety in the Commonwealth. John Akers is the executive director of the Kentucky Center for School Safety. He travels all across the state to work with school districts. He says the issue of safety is on the front burner for boards of education all across the Commonwealth, and says as efforts continue, students are safer today than they were 1 year ago.
These are things that need to continue on. If we let them dry up and dry on the vine and fade away a year or 2 years later here, then it's going to come back again to haunt us.
Akers points out that a true solution to the problem has to involve the entire community because kids spend more time outside of school. He says they need parents everywhere to be good role models, get more involved with their kids' lives, and monitor their social media.
Well, if you're getting ready for dinner plans, you don't have to pack the rain jacket. You should be okay. Pinpoint Doppler showing it this time. Well, maybe a shower or two. A lot of this probably not even reaching the ground with some of the drier air. You go out to the west, though. That's where the cold front's going to be coming in, and those scattered showers will become a little bit more common as we head into tonight. Satellite radar, those clouds still working through, keeping temperatures in the mid-50s. Will drop into the mid-40s tonight before a brief increase, and our high tomorrow I think occurs in the early morning hours. Of course, Steve, scattered showers early tomorrow morning, followed by maybe some snow tomorrow night. We'll have the first call for snowfall coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew. Well, Perry County drivers can still expect some difficulty traveling along North Main Street in Hazard, where a mudslide left behind quite a mess. Workers removed most of the mud that slid onto the road, but plan to continue moving more material from the hill to keep it from happening again. Kentucky Transportation Cabinet officials say the road will be closed during the workday, but open to drivers in the evening. You can find updates on their Facebook page, KYTC District 10. A bill that would ban most abortions in the state is one step closer to becoming law. If it goes into effect, abortions would not be allowed once a fetal heartbeat is detected. During a Senate committee hearing, the bill's sponsor, Senator Matt Caslin, brought several people to testify on behalf of his bill, including a survivor of an abortion. A fetal heartbeat can be detected about 6 weeks into a woman's pregnancy. Several states are considering bills like this one in an effort to challenge Roe v. Wade.
Circumstances do occur under which women feel that they need to terminate their pregnancies, and history has shown that they will do so whether it's legal or not.
Now, the bill did pass out of committee.
Well, the bill did pass the full state Senate, and it now moves on to the House. Senate Bill 150, sponsored by Senator Brandon Smith of Hazard, would allow you to carry guns without a permit, also known as constitutional carry. That means Kentuckians 21 and older who are legally allowed to own firearms would no longer be required to take training classes and apply for a permit before carrying concealed firearms. WYMT's Justin Case is talking with people who teach concealed carry classes about what this would mean for them. Justin?
Yeah, Steve, I'm here in Prestonsburg at the Copperhead Guns and Range, and you're right, 14 other states at this point have permitless carry or constitutional carry, meaning that you do not have to take the classes or get a permit before you can carry if you are a law-abiding citizen of a certain age. Now, if this bill passes, Kentuckians 21 and older who are legally allowed to own firearms would no longer be required to take those training classes and get a permit before carrying a concealed firearm like you just mentioned. And although law-abiding Kentuckians are already allowed to open carry without a permit, people who teach classes here say that in a lot of situations they feel like it's still the best possible scenario for you to take these classes even if the bill passes, because there's a lot that people need to know about Kentucky state law with regards to firearms.
Even if this were to pass, I can still see a lot of people wanting to take the concealed carry classes due to the fact that the concealed carry classes doesn't necessarily teach you the ability to shoot or anything like that, but it teaches you state law, state guidelines, things you need to know and be aware of if you're going to carry a firearm to be a responsible gun owner.
So Steve, just a few minutes ago we learned that this bill was actually going to be heading to the Senate tomorrow, and it could have been voted on as early as tomorrow, but we just learned a few minutes ago that it actually passed the Senate. It will be heading to the House. We're going to talk with the bill's sponsor, Senator Brandon Smith, a little later on, and we're going to have that conversation and more tonight at 11. Back to you, Steve.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. This is a hot topic. As always, on our Facebook page and website, we have a live web poll up right now, and we're asking if you think people should be allowed to carry a gun without a permit or training. And you can see the results there on your screen so far. You can let your voice be heard on WYMT.com. The hunt is on for a man who escaped while on work release today. We're about to show you him. His name is Rocky Howerton. He is likely somewhere in the Cumberland Valley region. Bell County officials talked to WYMT's Hannah Reynolds about how he made his getaway.
17 years. That is how long Bell County Detention Center staff say they have known Rocky Howerton.
Off and on, he's off and on in our facility.
This time around, Howerton was behind bars because of a 30-day sanction. But after 7 days, staff say they decided to let him try to work his time out on work release.
And it would have been quicker, but he's never been on work release.
And at first, all seemed well.
He worked good all day yesterday, worked all day with us yesterday, and then we got ready to leave, We got out to the four-way stop.
Now, Howerton could face 5 years behind bars for allegedly escaping.
He just opened the door and jumped out the back door, and one of my other inmates said, "That boy just jumped out and run, Rick."
And now jail supervisors say Howerton has been on the run since Wednesday afternoon.
I'm sure we'll catch him in the next little bit, because he's a hometown boy. Most hometown boys, they stay around.
Hoping to catch Howerton soon. In Middlesboro, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
If you know where Howerton is, you should call 911. In Floyd County, a man is behind bars following an undercover investigation. Police say 28-year-old William Randolph tried to get a minor to engage in sexual activities while chatting online. They charged him with prohibited use of an electronic communication system to procure a minor. Some say making a marriage work these days is harder than ever, and most cannot imagine being with the same person for years, much less decades. Tonight, WYMT's Connor James introduces us to a Hazard couple who are celebrating their 70th Valentine's Day together since they said, "I do."
To know the secret, we first have to know the two people that live here, Faye and George Anderson, who've been nestled away in this cozy home in Hazard for more than 60 years. But their story doesn't start here. It starts more than 70 years ago at a small little drugstore.
We come in and saw Faye and Katie at Don's Drug, and they were waiting on a bus.
George remembers the day like it was yesterday. He snuck out with a friend, and a pretty young lady caught his eye.
And I told her, I said, I've got an old car out here. It's not very nice, but if you all will wait, I'll take you home.
Was it fate that the bus hadn't come yet?
She thinks so.
Faye says she knew he was the one, and a first date later, George did too.
I got to thinking, but she's the very kind of type of person that I would like to marry.
Faye was 19 and George 21 when they married. He went on to serve in the Navy near the end of World War II and during the Korean War.
Yes, it was very hard.
It's tough being apart. George missed their first daughter's birth, but returned home soon after. The distance and time never came between their love.
As I told him when he gave me an engagement ring, I wanted it to be for the rest of our lives.
In fact, it made it stronger. And as for their secret...
Actually, I guess it's not anything complicated at all.
Be soft with your words.
It's just be conscious of what you say before it comes out.
And forgive.
And
never go to bed mad at night. Never go to bed mad.
To George and Faye, there really isn't one.
Right now, when we go to bed, before we go to sleep, we kiss each other.
You don't have to tell
that. But we do.
When they look at each other.
I do. I don't know what makes it. It's just there.
It's like the first day, all over again.
I do love her better than anything in the world, and I'd do anything in the world for her.
Even after more than 70 years of Valentine's Day cards,
you can show your love in a lot of little ways.
You'll find one addressed to George sitting on the table.
He's always been that way. Thoughtful, caring, and loving.
And another for Faye.
And I think God has blessed us in so many ways that I'd probably have to be talking the rest of the day.
To know their secret, it's not all that complicated. Just enjoy the simple, little moments. In Perry County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Great story. Faye, who is 90, and George, who is 91, will celebrate their 71st wedding anniversary this November.
We continue to watch a cold front. Right now, temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. That's warmer than this time yesterday, but soon here comes that colder air. We'll break it down in 5 minutes.
But first, the water continues to rise in some places, even though the rain has stopped. The issues facing those along Lake Cumberland.
When you see news happening, dial star 57 or text your news tip to 5757. Service is provided by Appalachian Wireless. Better service, bigger savings.
This President's Day, there's big news at Nissan Now. No brand received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards for cars and trucks than Nissan. And now get big savings. Get 0